So hello everyone and welcome to our webinar today. Thanks to you all for joining. So diolch yn fawr i chi gyd am dod a croeso am dod I ein webinar heddiw. The webinar will be in English, but we do welcome any correspondence in Welsh if you prefer. So if you've got any comments or questions, you're more than welcome to direct it to us in Welsh, and then we'll just make sure that everything's translated and answered bilingually then as well, just to make sure everyone understands. So I just want to say a big thank you to the WCVA as well for co-organising this webinar with us. I know there's a couple of WCVA staff in here as well, so welcome to you. And as you can see, the session is being recorded, so we'll be recording it and publishing it to our YouTube channel just to make sure that if anybody couldn't make it on the day, we'll share that link with them, and we'll make sure to get the recorded link to everyone who's registered as well, and so you can watch it back or share with colleagues. There will be a Q&A at the end, so please send any questions you've got at any time in the chat, and we'll have time to go through them all at the end. Or if you prefer, we can sort something out at the end, so you can come off mute and ask them directly as well. That'll be fine. Just so you know, the recording will be stopped for the Q&A, so you don't have to worry about that, and we'll make sure that that won't be published then in the recording. So I've just got a quick agenda. So my name is Mark Price. I'm the Business Development Director here at Pugh, and I'm joined by Avion, our Technical Director at Pugh. So Avion's got some very important news to kick things off regarding non-profit licensing from Microsoft. So these are announcements they recently made. And they could have a big impact on non-profits, so we'll be going through them just to make sure you're aware to get you prepared for those changes. And then we've got some Copilot AI tools to follow that, so we'll be showing how to make use of some of the free ones, what are the benefits of the paid Microsoft Copilot tools then, and I think Avion's got some live demos just to show some of them in action and how you can start using them to create some content then for your voluntary organisation. So just before I pass to Avion, if there's anybody here who isn't aware of Pugh and what we do, we are a modern workplace technology solutions provider. And as you can see there, we specialise in software licensing and compliance, modern workplace and security, and hybrid meeting space solutions then. So we're based in Llanol, just outside Aberystwyth in Ceredigion on the west coast of Wales. We do offer all of our services in Welsh and English. We've been a WCVA trusted supplier for many years now, and we've got over 44 years experience supplying the voluntary sector with technology solutions. And you can see there as well, we're a Microsoft partner, so we're a modern work solutions partner for SMB and enterprise, and we do hold the advanced specialization then in adoption and change management. And we've got long-standing partnerships then with many other vendors, so we've got Adobe partnership for the creative side and the document solution side, Softbox around cybersecurity and many others. And you can see Smart in the A-Link there then as well. So we do supply hardware, especially around the Teams meeting space solutions. So we've got good relationships with them and many other hardware providers as well then. So I think that's enough from me. So I'll pass straight over to you, everyone.
Okay, prynawn da pawb, diolch am ymuno ni heddi. Thanks for joining us today. So let's get started. I wasn't planning to discuss licensing with you because it's not the most exciting of topics, but because of an announcement by Microsoft, I think it's important that you are all aware of what's happening with Microsoft licensing for non-profits. So let's start off and help you all understand what's going on with non-profit licensing. You've got four options really. You have Office 365 E1, and Microsoft at the moment are giving 2,000 of those free of charge into charities. Then there's Business Basic, Business Standard, and Business Premium. Now, there are E3 and E5 licenses, which are for enterprises, which are for bigger organizations or some organizations that really have specific security requirements. But these are the four that are targeted at the smaller charities. I say smaller, it's up to 300 staff. If you look at E1 and Business Basic, they're pretty much the same license, and it might be important moving forward now. Basically, they give you access to email and Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, some tools like planner forms and bookings for organizing your day-to-day business. And it also includes email spam and antivirus for your email. The thing both of these licenses give you, they only give you Office within the web browser. So you can run Word or Excel or PowerPoint within a browser. So you don't download the app onto your machine like the traditional Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Moving on then, you've got Business Standard, exactly the same product, but it's got the downloadable version of Office. So you have Word on your machine, Excel on your machine, etc. But the one I recommend is Microsoft 365 Business Premium. The reason for that is towards the bottom here, all the additional security functionality it gives you. You've got Defender to give you more email protection and protection against viruses on your desktop. You get Entra to protect your usernames and passwords with things like multi-factor authentication. Sorry, I don't want to get too technical, but you get Intune and you get information protection as well. So a lot of security functionality on top of what you get normally. Now, these licenses are for up to 300 users. So you can mix and match. So let's say you had 200 staff and you bought them all a business premium license, and you had volunteers that you only just wanted to give them email, you could give them a business basic license or an E1 license. So you can mix and match up to 300. Those are the licensing terms. There are people with more than 300 in there using mix and match, and Microsoft are happy at the moment for them to carry on, but in the future they might be more rigid with the amount of licenses you have in there. You can mix and match. The one I recommend is Business Premium, but you can have any of them. So what have Microsoft announced? So what's going to affect you? So up until now, you were given 10 free Business Premium licenses. If you wanted more, you could buy more, but you were given 10 free Business Premium licenses, which you won't get anymore. They're also getting rid of Office 365 E1, those 2,000 licenses they gave you. I'm hoping that 300 is more than enough for most of you, but if you're a big organization, it might affect you. So when will this affect you? So it starts from July the 1st, so it's with us in a few weeks, but it's not going to affect you until your next renewal. So let's say you bought your licenses this month. It's not going to affect you until next June. Okay, it's when your renewal date is coming up. So if you want to know when your renewal date is, or if you want to look at licenses, speak to the sales team. They'll help you. Kerry, Owen, and Nathan, they'll all be able to help you with this. So as well as speaking to the sales team, what can you do? So Microsoft 365 Business Basic, as I said, which is the one with Office in the browser, you can get 300 of those free of charge. So you could replace your E1s with Microsoft 365 Business Basic, and you'd get exactly the same functionality. In fact, you'd get a bit more SharePoint space, but that's irrelevant at this point. If you're using Business Premium at the moment, you're using the 10 free, and maybe you've got a few more as well, you will need to buy Business Premium licenses to replace them. Or you could go for the free ones, but my recommendation, I can't not recommend strongly enough that Business Premium is a better way to go. Not because we make more money, because you would be safer. So how is it going to affect you? So it's not going to affect you till your renewal date, which is any time between July the 1st this year and July the 1st next year. If you don't so let's say you're on Business Premium now. If you don't get a new license within 30 days of your license expiring, it will stop working, and you have another 60 days to copy that data down onto a flash drive or onto your PC or whatever you do. Otherwise, you will lose your data. But if you renew a license, then in effect, nothing is going to happen. You will get a new license, and you'll have to assign it to a user, but that's all you need to do, and everything will carry on working. So it's a case of making sure that all your users have a license past your renewal dates. Just speak to your managers when you come to that, because they'll be able to help you and advise what licenses you need, what you can afford, etc. Okay, enough of licensing. Boring subject, but I think it was important that you were all aware of that. So I'm going to look at AI now and what all the excitement is about. In reality, AI isn't new. It's been around since the 60s, but over the years, it's been becoming more and more powerful when you can do more and more with it. Before this excitement, in the last 2 years, you have been using AI maybe without knowing it. So for instance, if you've got Netflix, that uses machine learning to decide what programs to show up for you. For instance, as a 60-year-old man who likes watching sport, Marvel films and action films, it will base what comes up in my list of recommended programs based on my profile. So it's using machine learning, which is a form of AI, to do that. Then if you use Siri or Alexa, that's using voice service and primitive Gen AI to give you your responses. To using AI even if you don't know about it. Maybe you've been using Google Translate. Again, the translation service is an AI service. Okay, but the excitement in the last couple of years is because of the start of Gen AI or generative AI. And a lot of you will have tried ChatGPT or Gemini for Google or any of the other tools out there that uses Gen AI. I'm specifically today going to be talking about the Microsoft version of this. Sorry, excuse me. I've lost my mouse. Here we go. So I'm going to be talking about Copilot. Now, Copilot uses ChatGPT. So you're using the same AI, but Microsoft have put a different front end on it. So that's the real difference between ChatGPT and Copilot. Now, ChatGPT is a large language model which is the engine that does all the generation of text in the background, depending on what you ask it to do. And with Copilot, it's built into your Office 365. So it's in your own organization Office 365. So everything is kept safely, all your data and everything is safe in your Office 365. Now, the particular version I'm going to start with is Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. If you're not aware of it, it's been around for quite a while, but Microsoft, as they always do, rename things. So it's the same thing, but Microsoft renamed it to Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. So what is Copilot Chat? So it's free to anybody that has got an Office 365 license, even Business Basic. And when you sign into Office 365, you will get access to this. So you should all have access to it now. The Copilot Chat, the important thing is that it's grounded in the web. What that means is it goes out to the web to try and get you your answers. Okay, that's it. That's quite important there. Microsoft also introduced agents. I'll speak more about agents in a minute, but what they are is basically you can create your own agents which are specifically focused Copilots. So you could set up one for a fundraising folder you've got in SharePoint, and you could have a fundraising agent, and you could use Copilot to ask questions to all the data you've got in SharePoint about fundraising. Okay, and even with a free agent, the free Copilot, there is now some IT control that you can use on the chat version as well. Okay, so that's Copilot Chat. It's pretty much like the, if you use ChatGPT, that it's very much similar to that. So if I move on, this is what it looks like. But the important thing here, and one of the new features in the bottom here, around here, that's where you type in the prompt. That's what you ask Copilot to do for you. And in this instance, I've asked for a 200-word summary based on a PDF that I can add to it. So even though it's web-based, you can connect it to documents now. So I'm going to connect the modern word comparison PDF file and ask that question of it. Let's get back to here. So it's based on this document, and as you can see, it's not the best of documents. There's a whole list of different features with tick boxes across to say what's in where. So not the easiest document to summarize, but if you look at the result that comes back, it comes back with a decent piece of text summarizing, and you've got the key benefits of premium, like it's got Defender for Business, it's got Intune. Yeah, so that's the sort of thing you can do, but you can do a lot more. You could go out and ask for, you could ask Copilot, so in that prompt, you would say, give me a list of the top 10 local companies that would like, that we can contact to raise money for some fundraising, and give me their phone numbers and their company names. And it will bring it back to you in tabular format. So that's another thing you can do with the free Copilot, because it goes out to the web, it looks for local companies and brings them all back to you. So that is Copilot Chat. So quite impressive, I think. Now we're going to move on to agents. So agents now, as you can see, I've taken a couple of shots from the main window. you've got, let me get this out, my laser pointer. Up here, you can see Get Agents. It's not showing. Let's see. So you've got Get Agents there. What happens when you click on that, which is in the right-hand side of the Copilot window? It gives you a list then of different agents people have written for you. You can create your own agents, or you can connect to ones that have already been written. So let's say somebody's already written a agent for Salesforce. You could then go into that agent and you could query it asking for who has sponsored it in the past, whatever the question you want to be. You can query it to say who's the best contact at the WCBA to speak to. So depending on what you want to do, but it's more focused on the data at the end of it, like Salesforce or whatever else you want. So if I move on now, also in the top corner, there was a button that says Create an Agent. So to create an agent, you just come into Copilot. In the prompt at the bottom left, you type, what do you want an agent for? So you can say, can you create a health and safety agent for me? You can then go and click on the configure in the top here. And it gives you a list of things to fill in. So this is fairly straightforward. It's not complicated to create a simple agent. So what you would do, you can change the icon. You can change what you want to name it, give it a description. Then under knowledge, you say where you're getting that data from. So in this example, I could put in the Health and Safety Executive website, and they would then come back. When any answers would come back based on current health and safety policies from and information from their website. You can also add a SharePoint site in here. So if you've got a SharePoint site with your own health and safety policies, you could add that URL as well. So it would bring, so what the agent would look like then is on the left-hand side, it'd come up with your icon, your heading, and some sample prompts, and you can ask questions of it. So for instance, if you've got a volunteer and they've got a question on, they need to go up a ladder, what are your working at heights policy, and they can get that information. So this is health and safety, not particularly charity-based, but useful in all organizations. But if you can think of your own scenarios, you can create this fairly simply. Now, you can do this with the free Copilot and with the Copilot I'm going to talk about in a bit. But with the free Copilot, as I did in this instance, if you connect to your Office 365 data, that's a paid function. So what you can do is, with the free agent, you can go pay as you go in Azure, or you can buy Copilot messages, and it would be then, depending on who asks a question, it would use a message to which you would pay for then for using it. And these messages start at about a penny a message. So if you've got an agent that you're using a lot of, and a lot of people are using it, you may be better off getting the paid version. You know, if you're using more than 250 a month or whatever the figure is, whatever the break-even point is, it may be better to go for the full agent. Now, these agents can also add automation in there. So you could have emails coming in to book for an event you're running, though you could then take the information from that event and automatically put it in your CRM system, Salesforce or Dynamics 365. So you can do that as well. And you can go a lot more complex with it. And one of the ones Microsoft have creating and are bringing out is a translation agent in Teams that will translate a foreign language, say Spanish. So if you've got a Spanish speaker, they would translate that Spanish into English for everybody in the team who wants to hear it in English to hear. So it can get a lot more complex and they're a lot more difficult to create. Right. So I'm now going to move on from the free Copilot stuff that you had to the Copilot that most people think of. It's now called Microsoft 365 Copilot. The big differences here are Copilot Chat. You're still on the Copilot Chat, but now it accesses web and work. So you can look at what you're doing from outside and get information from the outside, but you can base it on your SharePoint and OneDrive data as well. So one important difference. Another one is Microsoft 365 apps. It's built in and integrated into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneDrive, Teams. It's built into all those, so making your life a lot easier when you work through it. Again, it's got support for agents, but you don't have to pay for the messages, and there's some more management around it as well. So that's the Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is the paid version. It's the one I use every day, and if they took it away from it now, I wouldn't be very happy. It's really useful. So if I move on, so if you look at it, it looks exactly the same as the free one when you look at it in a browser. But at the top here, there's a work and web button. If you click on work, it now has access to your data. And I put a prompt in asking for a summary of emails from my Outlook account from the past 24 hours. So I sent a couple of emails through, and it brings that summary back to me. So I've got access to my Outlook as well. Now, if I read that summary and I want to look at it closely, if I click on it, where it says 1 and 2 there, it will take you into Outlook, and then you can look at the email. You can get Copilot to write a reply for you if you want. And you can also do that with Teams. Moving on, I'm just going to run through the different scenarios you've got now. So when you look at Word, it's built into Word itself, or you can click on the icon here to have a what's it called, a sidebar where you can ask questions of Copilot. So you can ask the questions up here. So you could ask it to say, can you write a document for me based on last year's business planning or whatever. So you can get it to create it from scratch, or you can get it to summarize it or rewrite something. So Copilot in Word, very useful. Copilot in Excel is a lot better now. When Copilot first came out, it wasn't very good, but it's a lot better now. And again, you click on up there to get the sidebar where you can ask questions of Copilot. So in this instance, you can say, can you highlight in red any business travels that I have done? And you can ask it to do things all like to analyze your data and create graphs for you. And you can ask it to create a new column based on a formula that it'll work out for you, and you can put it in. So that's Excel. This is PowerPoint, not the best of slides, but again, you click in the top corner there, brings in the sidebar, and you can ask it to create a PowerPoint from scratch or to add new slides, whatever you want to do. So that's enough from me there. So what I want to do now, I want to come out and share my screen with you and show a Copilot feature that I couldn't live without. Let's go. So full disclosure, on Monday, me, Mark and Tom played the role of 3 people within a wildlife trust, and we were organising events. And so we held a meeting in Teams, and if I come to here, we turned on recording and transcription. And if I go to the Wildlife Trust meeting, because we recorded it, I can go and click on View Recap. So let's fill the screen so you can see it better. So this is the video that was taken of the meeting we had. At the bottom here, you can click on that point and the video jumps to that point.
Like how to tell the story at the event, maybe like a central wildlife hub, like a tent.
Also, there's a transcript here. This was everything that was said in the meeting. And if I come towards the end and click here, it takes me to that point in the meeting. And again, I can view what was going on. So think about how we measure. Okay. Now, also, as well as the transcript, it automatically creates an AI summary of what was said. So you've got a summary of what was said here, and at the bottom, there's some follow-up tasks or actions that come out of meetings. Really useful, and I have lots of meetings with customers that we can record, and I've got a list of all the actions I need to take, but I also have summary notes that I can add to my CRM so that we've got a full picture of what's going on with that customer. Now, this functionality in itself isn't part of Copilot. This functionality is part of, well, this functionality you can get if you get a Teams premium license. So a Teams premium license will give you this functionality. But if you buy the Copilot license, this functionality is also in there. So 2 ways to get this functionality. But what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go up to the top left-hand corner and add Copilot into here. These are prompts I've asked Copilot based on this in the past, but I can go in and ask what actions are there for myself, and we'll look through the transcript and come back with any actions there are for me. Okay, I can then go and ask so I can ask it to write a blog for me. When it's written the blog, something else different happens here. As you can see, because we didn't talk about the date and everything in the meeting, it's put in components for you just to fill in to be able to send it out. Okay, that's going to take a while. But I'm doing this in real life so you can see how quickly it responds. It would take me a lot longer to write that blog out. While it's doing that, I'm going to ask it to I'm going to go ahead with it and see it. So once this is finished, can you see now it's asked me, I can copy it. So I can copy it and put it into my web publishing software, or I can open it in Word and modify it into whatever I want before I publish. And you can ask it for a tweet. Hopefully that will be a bit quicker. All these examples I've got here, you have to think of how you would use it in your own organization. And the person next to you might use it differently, but it's giving you a flavor of the things you can do. So I've got a tweet there. Again, I can copy it and send it off. What I'm going to do next is you can ask for responses in Welsh. And you can ask for it to translate for you as well. What I have seen from the Welsh version, I don't think the responses you get back. How much can you press the translation? I'm going to say you're going to have to read it and check it. That's true for any response you have. Yeah, you are going to have to just double check what is being said. And then, okay, so where am I on time? So a lot you can do with AI based on the information from that meeting. And all these prompts you can use in whatever application you want. I'm going to quickly look at another quick demo. So in Excel, it's a lot better than it was before. So I can now go to Copilot and I can say, so I haven't told it to look at the date, but I've asked it to create a new column telling me what the month is in text format. So it's going to look at your data, first of all, to try and understand it. It's then going to create a formula, and it's going to give you the response in Copilot. It's still working on it, but then it will give you a button that you can click, and it will, oh, it's already put it in there. Yesterday it was asked me to click a button to apply. If you don't like it, you can click on undo, and ask it to modify the formula. An example I had that I used it for was we had a date and we wanted to have wanted to know if that date was in Q1, Q2, Q3 for doing reports and dashboards. The problem we had, that started in February. So I just told Copilot what I wanted to do. So I want to add Q1, Q2, and Q3 in a column, but I want Q1 to start on February the 1st. It gave me a fairly complex formula and added it in for me. So it gives you the ability to do a lot more in Excel without knowing all these formulas. Now, you can write these formulas yourself, but if Copilot will do it for you in 2 minutes, it's a lot easier. Work them out. Okay, so that's all for the demos now, and it's all from me. What I'm going to do now, hopefully I can get the PowerPoint back up and Mark can take over.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Adrian. So I just wanted to end on a few slides, not too long. First of all, just to look at the next steps and recap some of the main topics we've covered. So first of all, I think those Microsoft licensing changes coming soon are very important. So I think some of you might be affected soon after that 1st of July date, if your renewal is coming up soon after. So I do recommend getting in touch, or we can reach out to you after this webinar just to make sure that you understand how it affects you and to get you prepared for that. Because we do know a lot of customers do use those 10 free business premium licenses. So I think making sure that you don't lose access to your licenses and your apps and your data, that's very important. And also, if you are downgrading as such to the basic licenses after that, just to make sure that you're aware of what sort of functionality isn't going to be included moving forward then. So we'll definitely get in touch after this webinar just to make sure that everyone's comfortable with those changes. If there's anyone who doesn't use Copilot, we would say the first place to start is those free Copilot AI tools that Avion went through. So even with the business basic licenses, you will still get access to the basic free Copilot included in that. So we do suggest just going on and trying that out. I've dropped a link in the chat to that free one as well. So you can click that, sign in, as long as you've got that business basic license assigned. And you can start using that straight away today then, so you can get used to the functionality and how it works. And then I think the next step from there then, once you understand the benefits and you can start using it a bit more regularly, you want to use it in your Microsoft 365 apps, like Avion showed, so in Outlook, in Excel, Word, that kind of thing. The next step would be to call us to explore what options are available. So we will go through the options with you to make sure you get the best value for your needs. So depending on what you're trying to achieve, we will make sure that that's the best fit for you and making sure that you get access to those exclusive non-profit discounts then from Microsoft, which can be pretty large. And I think most people at that stage tend to try with maybe 1 or 2 licenses. They'll test it out with a couple of users, or maybe some of the larger charities might test it out with a small department of 5 to 10 or so. And then we can help you on that journey then if it gets to the point where you'll see the benefits and you want to roll it out to more departments or organization-wide, we can support then with adoption services to make sure that that journey is successful and you're really getting the most out of your investments then. And just a quick one at the end there. So if looking back at things like Teams, if you're not set up with Microsoft Teams for hybrid working or hybrid meetings and events like this one, just get in touch with our AV experts. Again, I've dropped the contact details in the chat, so just give us a call. Our team will sit down with you and discuss what your needs are and come up with some solutions, and we'll work with you then to design something that's right for you, whether that's a work from home package for your users, or huddle rooms or meeting rooms, boardrooms, community halls, anything like that, then we can come up with a package to suit you. Just a quick note on that, we do supply services around, like I said, design, installation, training, adoption, and we can also source on certain occasions trial units and provide live demos and things like that. So whatever your needs, please just get in touch and we can have a good chat with you about that. Just a quick one as well, we are sponsoring Voluntary again this year. So we have done for the last few years, so that's coming up in just under a month. If anyone's heading there, so that's with the WCVA. We're going to be running 2 sessions at 10 and 1:30 in room G9. That will be the same session repeated twice, just to give everyone a chance to attend. It'll be similar to today's content around sort of AI and Copilot, but we will be following up with more details on that soon, so keep an eye out for that. Just to mention, we've got a stand as well, so stand 7 will be there with an interactive board doing live demos. So if you want to see it in action, or if you've got some questions from today, please come and see us at the stand. And you can always have some hands-on experience as well, so you can have a go on board, you can test Copilot. We'll also have Adobe Firefly AI in action there to create images and graphics as well, so plenty to do there, so please pop by and see us. And one final slide, sorry, before we move on to questions. We have just gone live with our brand new audiovisual and hardware shop. Again, the links are in the chat. This is something that we've implemented in the last sort of couple of weeks. It's got all our hardware and meeting room devices on there, work from home devices. So you can go on and have a look through there, you can browse through, but you will need to register with an account if you want to see pricing and request orders then. But really what sets us apart is around our personalized services then, so please just get in touch and speak with us, and we can guide you through that process. You understand technology can be a bit daunting, especially hardware, so we've got a team of experts on hand to provide design services to work with you based on your needs and what you're trying to achieve, all the way through to training, installation, or done bilingually then as well.